Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Zoe Comerford. We're going to change things up a bit here on the show, share an athlete's unique story off the field, which is also one I can relate to. Marquette men's soccer defender Gabe Kash was born on June 8, 1999 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. When Gabe was just 3 years old, both of his parents passed away, and he was left to live with his older brother and sister. At 7 years old, Gabe was adopted and moved to Marshall, Illinois. The redshirt freshman is extremely grateful for his host family, and when asked about the adoption, Gabe said, quote, "Adoption is a good thing because it helps kids get out of a real place of struggle and it allows them to grow in an environment where they can grow and have a brighter future than they did before," end quote. And with that, I would like to welcome Gabe to the show. Thanks for being here and opening up about your story.
Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. So first, why do you kind of think being adopted is so special?
I think being adopted is special because it gives me and other kids that have been adopted a second chance in life. They're put in a better environment, and from then they can have a brighter future.
That's awesome, and I think it's such a great community because I actually did a story last year, I don't know if you know this, about adoption between two Marquette coaches, Steve Roadcap and Steve Bailey, both adopted children, and it was really interesting to see how the community is so close and there are so many different stories and everything like that. Yeah. And then for me, the biggest challenge about being adopted has been kind of the history, not knowing my family history, but what has been your biggest challenge about being adopted, do you think?
I think the biggest challenge would be when I came over here, learning the language would probably be the number one biggest problem, but the second would be missing my brother, since I came here with just my sisters, and that connection that we had, I think that would be the biggest challenge I would.
And going back into your siblings, you regularly speak with them, and kind of what is your relationship with them? And I know you speak to them through Facebook, and kind of what is your relationship with your brother and sister?
With my brother, I totally forgot the language that we speak, which is Amharic in Ethiopia, but we're able to send pictures and like emojis. But with my sister, they're able to speak English, and we like call each other, FaceTime each other. So I think the language barrier would be the difficult part about it.
What do you think is the hardest thing about the English language, if I don't mind asking?
Just when I would take an English class, I think like the pronouns, the subjects, and all those was kind of like odd to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I heard you haven't been back to Ethiopia since you left and plan on going back this summer. What are you kind of most excited about for that trip?
I'm most excited about just seeing my brother again and spending time with him. I just found out that he had a wife and a kid, so I'll be meeting them, and that's going to be amazing. Yeah.
That's so awesome, and kind of you get to kind of rekindle that relationship with them. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you're excited about when you're there?
Of course, playing soccer with my brother, since he plays for the national team. He's a goalkeeper, so he'll be showing me some new stuff, and I can hopefully show him new stuff too.
That's awesome. And then have you guys kind of bonded about soccer? Because obviously you play at Marquette, and kind of told him about your experience playing at Marquette.
Yeah, he's sent me some pictures of him with like soccer jerseys.
That's awesome. And I think being adopted is so cool because when I went back to China when I was 10, it was really unique. I got to actually meet my foster parents and my foster family, which is super cool and like something that I will never forget because I got to meet them, and that was just an amazing experience, and I'm very excited that you're going back. That sounds like a lot of fun. And then what do you think is the biggest change from Ethiopia to the United States kind of?
I think since Ethiopia is a third world country, I think here in the US you have a lot of opportunities to do whatever you want. Here, the education, I think, is the most better thing that they have here. And over in Ethiopia, I went to school like first and second grade, and it wasn't that advanced as it is here in the U.S.
That's awesome. And I know for me, something that's really interesting about adoption as well is like I found my forever family, and my parents are just like any other parents. So I think that's something unique as well. Do you have any other thoughts about just what's unique about being adopted?
I think the best thing about being adopted is it's not only like good for me, but it's also good for my parents because they've traveled all around the world just because of me, and they've been to Italy, and they've been to around the U.S. They've been to Holland. Just because of soccer.
Yeah, that's super cool. And last, Gabe, have you ever thought of adopting in the future? Because I know I've been asked that a couple times.
I've never actually really thought about it, but considering my situation and how I've loved every single minute of it, I would definitely consider it.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that just about does it for tonight on Golden Eagle Sports Report. For Malaya Sago, I'm Zoe Comerford. Good night, Marquette.